We know is the first certified PM of 2023. Ganesh, Naeem, Arun, Junaid, Ramesh, Shahid, Sandeep, Naula, Rupat, Onkar, Nishit, Sulman, Mohit, Mati, Leo, Uram, Halim, Ghazi, Harun, Ahmad, Afla, Abu Bakr, Razan, Ikram, Philip, Tayyib, Aslan, Madhiya, Hassan, Ajay, Ikin, Gavin, Nasim, Padma, Priti, Hassan, Vikas, Atif, Zia, Pallavi, Sajad, Zarnab, Azim, Imran, Tahir, Azad, Griffiths, Ajay, Ali Zinumar, Mafi, Mansoor, Prashant, Asma, Ki, Bhai, Fiaz, Garin, Ibrahim, Shakir, Tivani, Talha, Adnan, Akmal, Azam, Bas, Mangesh, Murli, Nag, Raj, Sachin, Sujit, Chetali, Asad, Moss, Rizwan, Abbas, Shakil, Shafiq, Farita, Fanta, Yakar, Kodan, Tushar, Rizwan, Matt, Abbas, Aziz, Ahmed, Sukur, Ibrahim, Rajesh, Sachin, Rais, Yasir, Michael, Makuram, Irfan, Hassan, Ijaz, Binu, Atif, Ankush, Silwan, A Love Story, Shri, Durga, Vivek, Kalyan, Sagar, Fad, Ali, Satish, Rizwan, Was, Abis, Razan, Yusuf, Wakash, Vinay, Vishali, Umesh, Uday, Chandala, Sunil, Sauvik, Sibai, Saurabh, Satish, Sani, Saad, Genius, Atigneha, Amir, Mohit, Dasir, Mohit, Mohan, Mohammed, Minhaj, Das, Smile, Jason, Hassan, Hasib, Farid, Farhan, Ittisham, Dr. Jitin, Shadab, Badar, Atif, Anushpa, Amar, Amaya, Ali, Akash, Adam, Wasif, Nasir is my PMP number 597. We are ending this year with a bang. 597 PMP with 99% success record. So whenever I see this video is not just for you guys, this video is for me. It keeps me motivating. It keeps me saying that we haven't come so far to come so far from like less than 100 PMP in 2020, then 302 in 2021, 464 and 597. And I am very happy to say that we are at almost 49 PMP, and maybe tomorrow we'll reach the 50 PMP in the month of 2024. This itself is a record, but that is not one thing that I am very happy. The most important thing I am happy is that the way we are moving forward, the way we are going forward, it is changing life of people, and that is what we are here, and that is what I really love about this thing. So welcome again to the coaching call, EST coaching call. Today I have been thinking to take the coaching. Binsi said to me, sir, today's questions are going to be tough. So that's why I started the call a minute or two later, because I was updating the question answers and looking towards which question can be more tough to bring you more tough questions. Binsi to be next, not actually. The reason is that Binsi is in that part of Canada where because of snow things are closed. David, she cannot give exam right now. Yeah, she answers from myself. Okay, David, I'm very happy for you also. Okay, guys, if you have any question that is related to PMP, feel free to ask. If you are not my student and you are preparing for PMP, please understand we are having PMP marathon. PMP marathon is 4 hour question answer session in which we solve 60 question answers regarding PMP. 60 question answers regarding PMP. The speciality of this question answer session that is going to happen on this Saturday is that these questions are made by certified PMPs. Like 10 questions have been submitted to me by Raman today. 10 questions other student I have asked Abdur Rahman, I asked Archana, I asked Satya. Like every single student who is clearing, I am asking them, and they are making the question answers as we move forward. So these question answers will be very critical. And another interesting part of this question answer session, PMP marathon, is that it will not be recorded. You have to be there. Okay, you have to be there for the session. It will not be recorded. So it will be 11 a.m. EST, 8 p.m. UAE time on this Saturday. You need to register. I just shared the email. Just share your name. When do you plan to give exam? And my team will share the registration link with you. This is a very important thing that you must register for it, and you join the session. Okay, so anyone has any question, feel free to ask. I have emailed you for enrollment chaos. My team will send you the link on Friday. Everybody, they will send the link one time. I have received already, I guess, 25 to 30 registration. So yeah, okay. So now, before we start solving question answer, a critical thing that you need to understand when you are solving PMP question is that you need to slow down. This goes back to the most important thing which I says, slow down so that you can understand the context of the question, what question is actually asking. Then identify the keyword. Every question that we are solving, it has one or two keywords in it. Okay, and if you can master the keyword, you can master the question answer. So try to identify what keyword are there. Try to identify the question answers, what question we are trying to solve, what it is asking. If you can identify the keyword, the question is with you. As I started few days back, if you want to join with me in this coaching call, here is the link that you can join. Okay, let's go to the game and start solving question answers now. Hmm. Okay, yeah. Question number one. Okay, so now let's see the question. What the question is really asking. Oh, sorry for that. D option was overlooked. What should the project manager do now? A project manager is leading a project that is in an advanced stage. All high level risk identified in the risk management plan have been resolved or are no longer risk. Only low level risk remain. So what has happened? Let's say you have 1,000 risk. Out of 1,000 risk, 500 risk were critical. All 500 risk have been handled, right? Whatever the risk were, now only low priority risk remain. What project manager should do now? Reevaluate, identify risk, and update the risk register can be a very good option. Reclassify low risk as high level risk. Reduce the priority of the project risk as all remaining risk are low. Notify the stakeholder that all high level risk has been resolved. Yes, can be. Now, now we need to look into that and we need to go with the elimination technique. Okay, two people have joined, Piyush and David, and I will allow them to join with me. For those who has not joined, this is the link. So understanding the context of that. The question is there, we are in the monitoring and control risk. Notifying is important, but now we need to re-evaluate the risk. Okay, so let's go with the question one more time and let's eliminate the option. Reduce the priority, reclassify. No, that does not make sense. Two options that are very good. Notify stakeholder, all like this is good, but before that I would go for option A. I will evaluate and then I will work into that. So the option A will be your right answer in this question. Okay. Okay, so David, are you ready with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, guys, go ahead, David.
Okay. What should the project manager do? A project manager is assigned to a new marketing campaign. The sponsor gives the project manager an approved project management plan for review and explains the scope, business requirements, deliverables, and stakeholders for the project manager. Asked to see the project charter to gain a better understanding of the project. The sponsor says the project is small, and simple, so there is no need for a project charter. What should the project manager do? A. Agree that the project does not require a project charter, especially since the deliverable and milestones are included in the project management plan. Explain that a project charter is necessary to ensure agreement on scope and deliverables, to define the project manager responsibilities. C. Develop the project charter and send it for approval. D. Speak with peers about the need for a project charter. Uh, I think that we can eliminate C.
Okay. And why is that so?
I think the answer is B,
Okay. But how did you eliminate C? I want to know that.
because the project charter comes from the sponsor.
Good. Okay. So your answer would be B.
B is in boy.
B is a boy. Very well done. Okay. So that's good. But whenever you are solving question, one more thing, David, I will need from you. Also justify why A is not the right answer, why D is not the right answer. Because elimination technique demands that we go through every single option, look at them critically, and see, okay, this is not right because of this patent reason. Right? So that's an important thing that we need to know. Thank you, David. Thank you for joining. Okay, guys, I still have Piyush who will solve one question. One more thing. Today I made a video live. The video was about third video on ECO. Have you watched that video? Exam content outline. That is the third video in that series. If you have not watched that video, I highly recommend that you must watch the video, how that video works into that, what are the context of that, right? That videos basically talked about rewards, recognition, things like that. So I'm sharing the link of that video here. So yeah, that video is a must watch word video after the session. Okay, let's go to the next question. Okay. Hi Naman. Hi. Okay, G, what is your answer, guys? Here? What is your answer here? Option C, option C. We'll go for C. Amatsab, why you will go for C? The justification is also needed. What is the purpose of option C? Stakeholder input needed. Okay. What should the project manager do in order to gather the information needed from stakeholders? Now we need to get the information from the stakeholders. We know that these are there are techniques that we use to do that. I list down those techniques, and those techniques can be the best one is face-to-face meeting, call, email, document analysis, focus group, workshop. All those techniques are combined in order so that we can get information from our stakeholders. The purpose is at the end of the day to get information from the stakeholders. Okay, after the project charter approved, the project manager needs to work on detailed requirement, constraint, assumption, or they are not available in short term. Like that is a normal thing. Stakeholders are not available. Escalate to the project that all escalation is an option when something goes beyond our threshold limit. I always say that when something goes beyond our pay grade. So I'm gonna eliminate this option. D is not the answer, right? Conduct a meeting to build a plan who are available. Yeah, that's a good option. That's really good option. So I'm gonna hold that option for now. Email, call, or meet to obtain there. Now this is something that is my responsibility. I need to get the information from them. So that I'm gonna hold that information. Meet team. No, that is not the option. Okay. So now this is what elimination technique demands. And the first go eliminate two option. Now two option have been thrown out of the way. We are left with B and C. Now let's see which option make more sense. C make more sense. So I'm gonna go with C. So that is what I am requesting you guys. When you are solving question answers, when you are going into depth of question answer, don't worry about the time at the start. That's not the problem right now. Okay. The most important thing is to get the context of the thing, to get how things are working right now. So we go into that, we looked into that, and we identified what are the aspects that can help us, how we can go into depth of the question. And depth of the question and understanding the question in detail is the name of the game that we need to look here. Okay. So changing answer to B. Why changing answer? I don't like separately though. No, David, the thing is that whatever you have to do, because the option C basically categorize whatever you have to do that to gather the information. So from my point of view, C is the right answer. Hi Piyush.
Hi, sir. How are you doing today?
Good, good. What about you?
Doing great, sir.
Okay, let's do the next question. Okay, so
What should the project manager do? The programming activities of a project were planned to last 35 days per module, but the programming of the first module has taken 45 days. What should the project manager do? A. Evaluate the situation and identify ways to compress the schedule without impacting the baseline. Ask the team to work overtime to complete the deliverable on time. Submit a change request to the project sponsor to change the schedule and change the scope. Check the scope to verify if there is a scope creep on a project and get the project on schedule. With an elimination technique, option B I'm going to rule out because we cannot directly ask the team to do overtime. And we cannot directly submit a change request just because for the first iteration, the first module has taken a 45 days, which was initially planned to be of 35 days. So I'm eliminating B and C. Option A, evaluate the situation and identify ways to compress the schedule without impacting a baseline. And option D is check the scope to verify if there is a scope creep and get the project on schedule. There is nowhere mention as that project is going above schedule or behind schedule. There's nowhere mention in this question that project is behind schedule or that needs to be done. I think A is the one. Evaluate the situation. Let's evaluate the situation and identify ways to compress schedule without impacting the baseline. And the D is or check the scope to verify if there is a scope creep and get the project on schedule. I'm going with option A.
how did you eliminate option D?
The option D is to check the scope to verify if there is a scope creep to get project and schedule, because in the question there is nowhere mentioned, sir, that project is falling behind the schedule. Project is we are losing something on schedule. The question says like The
Yeah,
first is like 35 and 45 days. So it's the
yeah,
first thing, like this first iteration, rather I say. So we
yeah,
have to evaluate the first thing.
yeah, yeah. Thank you very much. That is the right answer. In addition to that, the 70 tips and trick that I have shared with you guys, it's just a small booklet I made on the series on the same name. If you have not watched the tip and tricks series, that is highly recommended. You must watch. In the tips and tricks, I have mentioned it. Whenever the question says evaluate, inspect, identify, 99% of the time, that is your right answer. Okay, so going to the that can actually help for those people who still haven't received that. You can message me or email me, and I'll send you that. This is the tip and trick booklet. I will actually also put it on LinkedIn. So this is a tip and trick booklet. Like, it's a very easy one. Just to these are 70 lines. I put it in a booklet so that you can easily understand what is a servant leader. Always act like a servant leader. Always provide training to the people. What is velocity, right? What is rewards and recognition? You can easily read it in 30 minutes. Okay, and if you want to go into depth of that you can also do that, depth into it, right? So this is an important thing. If you haven't received that, to let me know, WhatsApp, email, whatever you do, I'll send you that thing. That tip and trick is very important. You at least know few things. In addition to that, for my student Archana also shared that tip and trick, recently certified PMP, the keywords that she has identified, important topic notes. Those topic notes also give you the context of that, right? So we need to look into the context and try to identify the keywords. That is why I pay a special attention on keywords. If you can just identify what keyword we are looking right now, at which keyword we are, so we can identify those things. For example, if I showed you that document, what she has made, a beautiful document. So what are, in initiation, these are the things. In planning, execution, these are the things. Okay, project charter is not a contract, kind of a good thing. Like, only 4 pages, so good to review. Good to review thing. I would highly recommend that you also review that thing. Okay, so Numan Osman is saying, okay, so baseline is already violated in A. Okay, it's not violated. The question is saying, Numan sir, if you look at the option, the programming activities of the project were planned to this. Now we are looking at how we can compress the schedule without impacting the baseline. And if, of course, we are unable to do that, we need to raise the change request. That is for sure. But that is why, as a project manager, you need to step up, step beside, have a look into that, see how the things are, and identify what is the best way to do this thing. And best way here is to see how you can compress without impacting the baseline. I hope that makes sense to you. And please do cross question it and looked into that, how we can improve that thing. Because when you ask, when you cross question, then we can identify how we can improve it. Okay, sir, isn't employee data, so that once applied, this is EEF, yes. And there are two types of EF that can be updated. One is PMIS, and second is this. Employee capability can be updated. Let's say a new employee is there and their capability has been updated. So we may update that thing. So that also need to be looked in. Normally EF cannot be updated, but this EF, that can be updated. Okay. Acha ji. Anyone has any question? We still have 6 minutes. I'm more than happy to answer because we are at the last question now. So I'm more than happy to answer whatever the question you may have. Okay. Okay. The product team is progressing with a prototyping approach to deliver a multi-year business initiative. A few user stories are taking longer to be delivered. What should the project manager do? Now, some user stories are they are taking more time than expected. Okay, option B, Vinci is saying go for a spike here as it is a uncertain. B, D. Okay, so we are confused in two options. Let's see. Inform stakeholders about, yeah, can be done. I'm not gonna eliminate that option straightforward. Determine cross dependencies and plan a spike in the next sprint. Discover the gaps in the communication plan and address them. There is no communication problem. Can eliminate. Okay. Determine the risk and identify a resolution during the retrospective meeting. Okay, now this is a very important thing. And David, the answer that you have given, why that is lacking, that context is basically in retrospective, we basically look at the progress, what we have done in the previous sprint, what we can do, how we can improve. If you want to have a spike, spike is planned in sprint planning and worked into that way. We don't do that in retrospective. We don't do spike in retrospective. Is it clear, brother? So this is an important kind of a concept that evaluate, identify. Yes, yes, yes. Are usually the right answer. And I'm still saying they are usually the right answer. I'm also giving you additional information, right? That this thing happens there. And if I go to the option and exactly what you are saying, if you look at the option B, determine is not just there, it is also here. And that is your right answer, B. If you go with the determine, that are usually what I said, usually. So B is also there, right? But the most important thing to understand is identify what things are happening, how we can improve those things, and how we can get those things done. That is the most important and critical thing. Gee, this was five question answers that we promised. I hope you have enjoyed in last 30 minutes. I kind of like this EST coaching call. It is 30 minutes, it is quick, and it is done. So I like this thing. Yeah, maybe we'll increase the time, but 30 minutes so far is good. If you have any question, feel free to ask. Please do like this video so that this can start coming into the algorithm of YouTube. It's important. And if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you can get the notification. I am putting like 2 3 series into that. Another important thing, I will be starting the audio session on LinkedIn. I'll see when to start, and that is based on this tip and trick. Right? I will be covering 5 tip and trick in each audio session once a week. So if you are not connected to my LinkedIn, please also connect. And PMP marathon is starting. Please do register for that. So many free things for you. And of course, if you want to join at the paid program, feel free to interact with me. Acha ji. The project manager schedule an iteration review and learns that the few stakeholders do not approve of how feature has been developed. What should the project manager first do in order to address the issue? What are the options? What are your options, David? Put the options in the chat box. What options do you have? And by the way, while David is putting options, guys, why don't you answer for it? Okay, I'll answer you, Sangeeta. Invite the project team member to brainstorming session to identify appropriate response. Address the after evaluative why stakeholders are concerned. These are two options, A and B option. C options are determine the impact of the conflict. by listing the pros and cons of situation, ask the project sponsor. So D is eliminated, right? D is straightforward eliminated. We'll go to the option. D is eliminated, A is eliminated. Now I left with the C and B option. Determine the impact of the conflict. No, why would I would determine the impact of that? They are asking it, so I'm not gonna go with that. So what is where is the B option? C. Oh, B option. Okay, address the issue after evaluating. Yes, again the same thing, David, what we discussed. Evaluate the scenario. What has happened in the scenario? We'll do that. So B would be right. Your right answer. Buyer seller risk wise. Okay, so on firm fixed price, when your scope is fixed, everything is fixed. The risk on seller is maximum. The risk on seller is maximum. Okay, that is the first thing. Firm fixed price. When the scope is fixed, you are a set aside, you are putting the risk on the seller. For buyer, the maximum risk in time and contract. Okay, but it's an important thing to consider when the question says that the overall high level scope, it talks about it. It does not talk about the subscription. Then the contract with highest risk is cost reimbursement. So I hope that makes sense for you, Sangeeta. Okay. G, anyone else has any question? Feel free to ask. And one more time, if you haven't registered for PMP Marathon, send your email here. With that, thank you very much for joining. If you are my student, then I'll see you tomorrow, 8 p.m. UAE time, that is 11 a.m. EST at Zoom. And guys, this much coaching calls we are doing. Like right now, we're doing 3 to 4 coaching call in a week. This is my way to make sure everyone becomes PMP. Thank you very much. I wish you best of luck and become PMP. Bye bye.